Hey, come on, kids, let's teach you some math. Welcome to My Hill to Die On, episode 91.
Everyone has things they are passionate about.
Things we want our friends to try and experience.
So we've convinced each other to try different things.
And we talk about these experiences to see if we can get just one more person
to join us on our hill to die on.
How have things been?
So cross country finished.
Oh, cross country finished. That time of the year already.
It's been that long since we recorded last. A speaking episode anyway. Cross country, it was a good season. We did well. We had a good trip to Guam. I didn't have to arrange the tournament. I just did the scoring, which I do like that level of participation. I'm still involved, but I'm not in charge. It's nice. The one thing that was different about this year was my summer running this year helps me do pretty well. I was pretty pleased. Basically, since the 2024 season of cross country through to this season, I've just been training all throughout the off season. So therefore, I was like 2 minutes faster at my 5K times this year than I was last year. So I was pleased with that. I got like a decade PR. It's not my fastest PR, but it is in my adult lifetime.
In the not young.
Right. In my last 2 decades, it was a PR from my last 2 decades. Right. I love how my watch thinks it's my PR and my phone thinks it's my PR, but it's like, you guys are pretty young. That's okay. You can keep thinking that it's my PR, but that's okay. I know it's not, but that's all right. It's a PR since I've had my watch and phone, but it's not a PR. So that's kind of nice. I think one of the interesting things is I've often been, it so happens that I'm often the dividing line between varsity and JV, where I finish, right? Mm. And I'm often, as fast as our fastest girls. And that occurred again this year, but because our fastest girl is getting pretty fast, she was beating me toward the end of the season. I was with her at the beginning of the season, but she's beating me at the end of the season. But she's getting pretty fast. I mean, she did win the big tournament at the end. She was the first place runner. If she keeps improving at the rate she's improving, I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with her next year. We'll see how it goes. By the end of the season, she gets fast.
But isn't next year... Wait, no, she's a junior next year.
No, she'll be a senior next year.
Oh, she'll be a senior next year. Oh, man. Sorry, I was just like, nah. She can't be that old yet. I remember she was just in my freshman Bible class.
Yep, 2 years ago.
No, I'm not having a breakdown on that one yet. These kids keep getting older.
No, they do. It was good to run with her. She and one of the other girls on the team who is pretty close to her, actually, which is also good to have 2 girls that fast. They ran with me and pushed me a lot this season. So I've improved a good amount. I got my decade PR. So I've started, even now, I registered for a race coming up in February. And I've been continuing my training, and I've been pretty pleased with how I think I've been improving even in the off-season from cross country. Now, I can't prove that, and I'm not very good at pacing on my own. Well, I'm pretty good at pacing, but I'm not good at pushing on my own to a race pace. I need other racers to help me race. I tried yesterday even to do a race on my own, and I can't push myself fast enough to do a race on my own. I can push, but then I slowing down a little bit too much, and then I was like, I slowed down, I gotta push again, and I push, but then I can't keep going at my fastest pace for that long. So I did okay still. I missed my PR by 10 seconds, which is not too bad for a race on my own. It's kind of promising in the fact that, I could actually probably have gotten my PR if I was running with somebody else. So that was kind of exciting. But I do have a race coming up in February. I have a half marathon, which is probably the best distance. I mean, even yesterday, I was thinking during my solo race that, wow, this is short. 5K is short, which is good. It's a good thing to be thinking if I'm training for a half marathon.
Yeah, if you're training for a half marathon saying a 5K is short, that's a good thing.
Actually, yesterday, what I ended up doing was running 2 5Ks. And I got my second 5K still within or faster than my race pace that I'm going to go for. Well, the second one was basically more on the line. I would prefer to go slightly faster than that, but it's faster than my worst case race pace for February. So that's not too bad. So I probably should have run it wiser, and I probably should have run 2 5Ks at like a more wise pace that they were more even. These were pretty disparate in their paces. Like my first one was very fast, and my second one was still fast, but I probably could have done a lot better if I had run them even. But oh well. I was having fun trying to go for a record. So, well, tomorrow I am going to drive out to the place where the half marathon is and explore a little bit. Unfortunately, I registered too late for the race, so I didn't get a free parking spot. So I'm going to find out where their like Ito-Yokado type department store is so I can ditch my car at an Ito-Yokado parking lot.
Where is this at?
It's in Fukaya City in Saitama. It's about an hour north.
I'm glad that is going well. But yeah, I think every time you talk about this stuff, I'm like, I should be better. I should be better about, maintaining my health in my old age.
Well, I am wondering, where do I go from here, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to continue to keep improving. That's not going to happen.
No, but maintaining is still a good thing.
And I hope to continue to maintain, but it's going to be sad the days I'm not improving anymore.
Yeah, I think the thing is you want to make sure that you're just not slipping into that point where your body starts to deteriorate because you stop using it.
Well, looking forward to the race. I'll give it updates when it comes out.
Sounds good. Tell me when you get first place.
No. Well, because I'm running with one of my coworkers, I'm not getting first place. I am not going to be even near him either. I'm going to be pretty far back.
Is it the other coach?
Yeah. He's the one that found this race. I'm going to ask him, hey, if you're going to be running races, let me know. I said, I'm looking for half marathon too. So he signed up for this and I was like, yep, I'm signing up too. There are bathrooms every 5K, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And an AED and a nurse's station. Good.
So you're not just expected to wear an adult diaper?
Yeah. No, you're not expected to do that. So, Ryan, the classic movie went for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yep. Did they meet him?
They did. They met him for sure.
I thought they were supposed to meet the mummy.
Well, I didn't get that one. There is Abbott Costello Meet the Mummy. I didn't get that one. But what's interesting is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. They also meet Dracula and the werewolf. I mean, it's got like a bunch of classics in there.
So they're burying the lead with the title.
I know they are. They're meeting a good amount of classic horror villains. So I went ahead and bought it because I remembered it being good. I remembered that this one was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So this might have to be a hill I'm willing to die on at some point in the future.
All movies that we remember fondly always turn out great, don't they?
Well, that's the thing. So I was so encouraged by this purchase that I went ahead and purchased some other old movies. And maybe I should refrain from saying their names, but I was like, man, because I watched Abbott and Costello and I was like, man, this was a good one. I remember it being good and it was good. Like, okay. So then I went ahead and bought some other old movies. I just bought one other old movie, but it was part of a series.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, I'll buy this one and I'll buy the rest of the series. And then I was so disappointed in the male chauvinism in the movie. And I was like, there's no way I can show this to my daughters. It's like,
Wait, you mean there's an old movie with male chauvinism?
Yeah, I probably should have remembered that part.
You mean the patriarchy had its hands in the movie business early?
Yeah.
Sorry. Am I being too over the top? Yes.
Well, I didn't remember it, that's for sure.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if I should have remembered it because, I was probably too young to realize all of it. Like, I mean, obviously, there was a love story. I think I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
Did I remember the
problematic nature of that love story?
Exactly. That's the words I was looking for. Nope, I didn't remember that. At least I don't think I remember me taking these guys as role models. I thought they were funny, perhaps, but I'm not sure. At least I don't think I took those aspects of them as role models. So I think that's good, at least. At least I didn't pick up on that stuff. But that was interesting. So sadness, great sadness. But it was the first time that I've used Apple's movie return system.
Mm.
And that did work. I was pleased by that I could return the movie. I wouldn't have minded losing the money also, but I am glad that I did get the money back. But yep, it's the first time I've used the iTunes return system. I remember talking to you about it when I was doing it, and I was trying to complain about the movie, but really my biggest complaint is that I can't share the movie with my kids.
Yeah.
That this is a movie that I can't show this to my kids. Like, sure, maybe if I can't return it, like, okay, maybe I'll watch it one or two more times, but I can't show it to my kids. It's not worth owning anymore if I can't show it to them.
Exactly.
Why do I have movies if I can't show them to my kids? I'm glad that while you were helping me think through that to submit that up, like that's the real reason here. That's why I can't have this movie.
It's because you want to say, look, I wanted to show this movie to my kids, but it just wasn't appropriate to show my kids anymore.
Yep, so I returned it. I'll be on the lookout for some better old movies, but
yeah,
even Cinderfella wasn't as good as I remembered it, That's another movie too. That's not even one that I bought this time. That's one I bought a while back.
Yeah.
And that probably is one of the better Jerry Lewis movies. Ish. I mean, maybe.
I'd have to think through what his...
Nutty Professor might be one of his better ones also. That one never clicked with me when I watched it, though. The Eddie Murphy one was probably better, unfortunately. That's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right, Ryan, I found a Craft Boss Cafe Soda.
What makes it a cafe soda again?
It must be very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
This is acerola and lemon. Is acerola a flavor in America? It reminds me of cough syrup flavor, like cherry cough syrup flavor.
I think it's a regular flavor I've heard of in America, but...
It's interesting. I've only really heard of it in Japan, and I've seen it around a few places, and one place I remember trying, my first place, I didn't like it. And then every place I tried acerola after that, I have enjoyed it. So I don't know if it was just a bad first impression, but acerola and lemon together, I'm kind of looking forward to this.
So, the common names of this fruit are acerola or West Indian cherry or Barbados cherry or, a bunch of other ones like that.
Okay.
So...
It is a cherry.
It's part of the cherry family.
Okay. We got 1% juice, so I'm not sure how much cherry is actually in this.
Oh, 1%.
Yeah, very little, really. And, that could all be lemon for all we know.
Yes, because it is this cherry and lemon.
But you're getting a day's worth of multivitamins, Ryan.
All I needed. 1 full day's worth of multivitamins.
B6, vitamin C, and niacin. I forget which one that is, but niacin. There we go.
Yeah, and it's only 28 calories.
Yes, but it is a full 500 milliliter bottle. I'm always excited when that happens still.
Yeah, because it's so rare these days.
Oh, it's 28 calories in 100 milliliters, right?
Oh, don't... Well, yeah. I didn't look at that part.
All right, let's see.
All right, here we go.
It's not a bad smell.
Yeah, not terrible.
I don't know what makes it craft, but it's light on the taste, actually, huh?
Yeah, actually, I think it's the perfect level. It's not too strong. If it was any stronger, I think it would be sickening.
There's not much acerola. It's a lot more lemon.
No, I'm tasting it.
Never mind, you're right. It's both. I'm not sure they're working together as well as I thought they might, though.
I'm not displeased with it. I'm not overly impressed with it, but it's refreshing.
Yes. It's refreshing. The lemon is eating up all of the sweetness of the cherry, and the sweetness of the cherry is hitting into the sourness of the lemon.
Which is part of why I think it's refreshing.
Yeah, maybe.
But if you're too sweet, too sour, you're going to end up making it not as thirst quenching, I guess. It's not going to be as refreshing. I hate using the same word to describe the same thing over and over again.
I think it's a little bit too middling for me. It doesn't taste bad, like you said, but I think I was hoping for more. So I think I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's not bad.
I think your expectations were too high, is the problem.
I think so.
Yeah, and my problem is I am at the place where I think it is probably a 6.5.
So which one are you going to pick?
Is it a 6 or does it round up to a 7? And I think I'm going to make it a 7.
Okay. You liked it more than me.
I liked it more than you, and as I said, I was looking for something very refreshing, and I had no expectations going into this, and it accomplished the goal. It was refreshing. I could see me buying another one of these. I don't think I would run out to buy one of these, but if there was nothing else, I could buy another one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying 7.
Okay. And then I believe you brought these Kit Kats.
Yes, I found a raspberry adult flavor Kit Kat.
Yeah. And with adult sweetness, so it's not going to be oversweet also.
Yeah, it's the adult sweetness.
So I think this is going to be pretty good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying not to get my expectations too high, though.
I know. You're a big raspberry liker.
I am. I do love raspberry, which is why I look at this and I go, you can only disappoint.
Well, it's chocolate-colored bar.
Yes.
It is not neon purple.
Which to me tells me that the raspberry is going to probably be a cream between the wafers.
Ooh, that might be interesting.
Which, let me break the wafer. Ooh, yes it is.
Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, it might be good.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
It's a little bit more than a hint.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty good hint.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm actually going to have a second bar.
Yep, I think so. I think I'm going to say 8. I enjoyed it a lot, but it's not my favorite. And 8, and that's pretty high for me.
Mm-hmm. 9 no notes.
Yep, very good. Yep, I mean, it's really good. I mean, I think there's not much more we're going to be able to say.
No, it was great having the raspberry between the wafers, like little cream. Great.
The mix of raspberry and chocolate together worked very well.
Always does.
You can't do too much better than that. A little bit of room, but not too much.
Yep. As I said, raspberry, great. Loved it. No notes.
Alrighty, let's do picks.
Yes. So, Nate, the book I had you read this week has to deal with an eternal quest to find a piece of artwork.
Yes.
A piece of artwork that this one person longs to see from the depths of their soul. So we thought, hey, let's talk about pieces of artwork that we've seen in the past. Or art pieces, or things that relate to art.
Right.
Let's talk about art.
Kind of wide open, but that's okay. It's kind of fun.
There are artists around us who would abhor the way that we're going to treat this, but let's talk about art.
Yeah, you know, it's wide open.
Yeah. Nate, why don't you go first on this one? Because
all right.
My second one, I'm going to tell you, is going to be a bit of a stretch.
At first we were thinking, let's do ugly pieces of art, which is hard because how many ugly pieces of art are you collecting, right? But I'm going to pick first the clown painting hanging in my grandparents' house when I was growing up. So my grandparents' house, they lived in upstate New York, and we always had an excellent time visiting with them. And they built a nice, huge house up in upstate New York so that we could all gather as a family for the big holidays. And I loved visiting with them over the big holidays. I actually lived with them for 2 summers to work on my uncle's farm. Like, I stayed there for a long time. And there was a clown painting hanging in one of the rooms. I don't actually even remember which room it was in. It didn't bother me too much, but it bothered my brother a lot. And I think the artist who drew it, it was a close family friend of my grandmother's, and my grandmother had a number of pictures of hers, and most of them were great. There was even another one with a girl playing in the playroom that I remember well also, and that one was fun as well. I think the clown painting, though, really bothered my brother, and it really got under his skin, became like a scary clown for him. I think that's funny, and I'm not even sure the painting was terrible. It was definitely a bit of a sad clown, and I think that's probably why it bothered my brother, because it was a little bit too sad. But it was just like a clown who was down on his luck a little bit, so he was a little bit frowny. I mean, not a lot, but just, it had emotion in it, right? But it's definitely not happy emotion. So I think it bothered my brother. But anyway, that artist, she's pretty good, I think. She had a number of other good paintings that my grandmother had. So anyway, that's a funny one because I just remember it really bothering my brother. But my grandparents had a lot of her paintings. And I was okay with it. It was fine.
Sounds good. Hey, an artist shouldn't be defined by their one work. Speaking of which, I'm going to talk about the one work that this artist is known for.
Okay.
I'm going to, in our chat, post a picture. This is the Ecce Homo. This is the before.
Okay.
This is the after.
After what? After they let a kid take their brush to it?
The Ecce Homo is a restoration attempt. It's in the Sanctuary of Mercy Church in Borja, Spain.
Okay.
So there's this fresco that was painted in 1930 that was the first picture I showed you. It is basically a picture of Jesus crowned with thorns. The title is, of course, the Behold the Man, in reference to what Pilate said. There was a parishioner, a 81-year-old parishioner, who was very sad that this painting was starting to peel and chip, and so she had taken it upon herself to attempt to restore it. Now, as one can see, the restoration attempt was not great.
And it's on top of the original.
It's on top of the original, yes. This was the original, and she tried to restore it by painting on top of the original to touch up the parts that were not done. And yeah, so that's what ended up happening.
Wow.
Now, because of this happening, one of the things that was a benefit to the church was it did get so much notoriety online that the tourism to this specific church exploded. And it has been receiving so much money in donations because people want to see this painting. So one of the things that I enjoy is the fact that she said her attempted restoration was actually an incomplete work in progress. She left it to dry and went on holiday for 2 weeks, thinking that I would finish the restoration when I returned. When I came back, everyone in the world had heard about it.
Yeah, but that's not a starting point.
This is not the starting point. No.
It's not like, oh, it will get better from here. I mean, yeah, maybe, but still.
No.
That's funny.
So this is something that happened in 2012. And when we talk about art that had a distinct reaction, that is the one that most people talk about. But yes, she tried her best, and according to the Wikipedia article on this piece of artwork, I do love that it says, a Forbes commentator suggested that the inept restoration represented one woman's vision of her savior, uncompromised by schooling. And at the end of the day, she tried. Her heart was in the right place. But yeah, it definitely did, frankly, ruin a very beautiful fresco, in my opinion. But also, if the goal was to get people to visit and donate to the church, she accomplished that goal
also
really well. Because apparently there was a point where they started selling like €3 tickets, and it just started generating so much money.
All right, I'm not gonna be beating that.
I didn't think you would.
My second story. We went to America last summer. Not this past summer, but the last one. And when we were there, my wife wanted to visit one of our former coworkers who lived in New York City. So all of my family went in, but basically we dropped off my wife with her friend, and then we continued on to do other things, me and my daughters. Well, I'm sorry. We did a whole bunch of touring around first. We toured around New York City, and then when it came time for my wife to meet up with our coworker, we dropped my wife off, and our coworker had just gone to the MoMA that day. I think she gets free tickets at her workplace or whatever. But she said, yep, here's my ticket today. Do you guys want to go to MoMA also? It was a few blocks away, so we're like, okay, sure. I mean, free ticket to the MoMA, sure, we'll take that. I mean, she gave us 2 tickets, but then I realized my kids were free actually already because they're kids. They got to go in free, so it was only a ticket for me. So I was like, oh, well, that works out even better. It was free all around. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to pay for 2 kids maybe, but it's probably not too much, but still definitely worth going. All of us were free, so it was definitely worth going. So we all went, and I don't know what's in MoMA. Like, I'm not really an art museum person, right? I mean, like you said, we're frustrating a number of people here. I got free tickets to the MoMA. I'm like, what do we go look at? I don't know. And there was definitely some weird art there. We're like, why is this here? Somebody thinks it's art. Okay, sure. But we did get to go see Starry Night. So that was fun. I took my daughters up to Starry Night, and we got a picture in front of Starry Night. So that's pretty neat. It's smaller than I expected. I don't know why I was expecting bigger. Who knows? I mean, it looks like a normal piece of canvas. Now I'm looking at the pictures. I don't know why I thought it might be bigger, but It's definitely a nice small painting, but it was fun. I don't know. We had a good time. We did that for a little while. We checked out a few of the other floors briefly. And then, of course, we did the next best thing. We went to the Apple Store on Fifth Avenue. Because what else would you do, right?
Spend more time at the MoMA?
We saw enough art.
Okay, I think I'm a little bit more into art than you are.
I think so too. We did see other art. I forget. We saw one or two other fun things. I don't seem to have any pictures of them though. But yeah, we saw that. Then we went to Fifth Avenue. We went to Fifth Avenue because 2 years ago, that's when the Apple Vision Pro came out. So we all got to try the Apple Vision Pro at the Fifth Avenue Apple Store.
Mm-hmm. And did you run off with one?
No. I didn't buy one. Definitely didn't buy one.
That's not what I asked.
Nor did I steal one. No, I didn't steal one either. But I got pictures of my daughters using an Apple Vision Pro. That's kind of funny. Actually, after that, Ryan, after we went to Fifth Avenue, we took the train down to the New York Public Library and took a look at the Winnie the Pooh exhibition. They have the original A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh on display there. I don't know how long that might have been a temporary exhibition, but that was kind of fun too. Yep, we did a few things in New York that day. Yep, Starry Night, it was fun. I mean, definitely, I'm glad we've seen it. I think I don't really have a desire to see famous works of art in their original form. Like, I have no desire to go see Mona Lisa. I obviously didn't have a desire to go see Starry Night before it was presented to me. I'm glad I saw it, but I'm not sure I connected with it any more than I connect with pictures online.
And I think for me, I just want to walk through like art museums and look at what they have. Mm-hmm. And generally, I find that I tend to latch on to one or two of them. And often it's like very few people actually pay attention to this one. And I'm like, yeah, but I connect to it. That gets to the point where, I mean, yes, there is definitely an aesthetic taste to art, but there is also, there is a point in which some of it is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And what connects to me might not be what connects to others. So seeing the Mona Lisa, not on my bucket list, but maybe going to other museums, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What's your stretch one?
Here's the one that I wanted to do as a stretch. So originally, when we were talking about this, we were talking about doing works that we find ugly. Now, the problem was, I couldn't think of too many aesthetically ugly ones, but I thought of something that I find ugly in a deeper sense, an existential sense of ugliness.
It has inner ugliness. It's not inner beauty. It's inner ugly.
It is innerly ugly. And it is an entire category of art that I want to get on my soapbox against. And it is AI art.
Okay. I was like, is he going to go graffiti? Is he going to do?
Nope. No, I'm going AI art.
That's good. I think I probably agree with you here.
I'm coming out harsh against the AI art.
The soulless AI art?
Coming out harsh against soulless AI art. That's what I do.
Anything with AI, Ryan, you come harsh against. I'm not sure there's a distinction whether it's soulless or, well, does any AI have soul? But anyway.
I'm going to say no. And here's why. Especially when it comes to art and a lot of creative work, what it is doing, it is essentially training itself based on other people's hard work and then creating an amalgamation close to what people view as aesthetically beautiful by essentially ripping off other people's work.
Yep.
And in order to do so, it is constantly consuming more of the world's energy and water. For what? So that you can make a funny picture using Garfield? It breaks my heart to see any kind of creative endeavor being handed over to AI because people believe that it will make them money. Because that's the core of it. That's why people are doing it, is because it's simplicity and people think they can make money off of it. If it couldn't be monetized, people wouldn't do it. Wow, I am coming off real cynical there.
I'm gonna let you bask in your glory, Ryan.
Sorry. Did I say something about capitalism again?
I do think it is a waste also. I have seen some AI art that has been funny, or some AI movies that have made me chuckle. Did I need them for my life to be complete? Absolutely not.
Because this is becoming the simple solution, the training for artists to get to that point, they're not going to have those opportunities to survive on their art because all of those jobs are being taken by a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just art. It's like art, music, film, writing, all of these things are getting taken over because somebody thinks that they can sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me sad. It makes me very, very sad. Yes, you said it earlier. When it comes to AI, I tend to come out very strongly against. And a large part of it has to do with this.
Yeah.
That we're destroying people's lives and robbing people for convenience and personal profit. And while we're doing it, we're also destroying our environment to do so. Great! Huzzah!
Yep.
Every time I hear about another company saying, oh yeah, we're going to offload a bunch of our jobs onto AI, I just look at that and go, what about all the people who, want to be a part of this? Are they all going to lose their jobs? Mm-hmm. The answer is probably yes, because profit.
Yep.
Wow, my cynicism is coming out strong there.
Good. Not totally undeserved, though.
No. That's the thing, is so when we talked about seeing ugliness in art, my immediate reaction was, let's talk about the inner ugliness. The inner ugliness of robbing people of their hard work for somebody else's profit by using AI. All right, so shall we get to the main media of the day?
I think you made me read a book, Ryan.
I did make you read a book, and it was a good book. Whether or not you feel the same is a different question, and we'll get to that. But I had you read a book called To Say Nothing of the Dog.
There is no ellipsis. It is just To Say Nothing of the Dog, period. Well, there's no period either. No punctuation following this title. I was curious what the official
title was?
Yep.
Yeah, To Say Nothing of the Dog. The book To Say Nothing of the Dog was written by Connie Willis. It is technically book 2 in her Oxford Time Travel series, but it is a fantastic book, and it is not necessary to read the other ones to read this one. And we'll get into all that after I give my short elevator pitch of what this book is all about. Ned Henry has been time traveling a lot, perhaps too much. To keep their donor happy, the time travel department has been going back to Coventry specifically to try to rebuild the Coventry Cathedral. Unfortunately, he's done so much that he's starting to get a little sick and a little bit time lagged. And so his friends and colleagues decide for him to properly get some rest, he needs to go back in time and hide in the Victorian era for a nice, relaxing time by the Thames. But when they send him back with a small gift that he needs to go and return. And that's his only instruction for that week. Shenanigans happen.
Does he even remember what he has to return?
Well, that's problem number 1. And shenanigans start problem number 1. To be completely clear, To Say Nothing of the Dog is a reference to the Jerome K. Jerome book, 3 Men in a Boat, To Say Nothing of the Dog, period.
Is that a real book?
That is a real book. I considered having you read it before I had you read this, but quite frankly, I thought one book was enough for you. It is a real book. Jerome K. Jerome wrote a book. It is a comedy about 3 men who think they know better than they actually do, but these 3 guys trying to go on a small trip down the Thames with their dog, and shenanigans happen. So just so you know, there was one thing that you mentioned when you talked to me before about why are there these like weird prologue things that happen at the beginning of each chapter.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where it gives me a bunch of random things. That was a parody of Jerome K. Jerome and what he did at the beginning of each of his chapters.
Okay.
Because that's what he did, is every time he had a chapter, he would give like sentence snippets of what was coming.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's jump back a bit before we get into all this. First, with broad strokes, how did you feel about the book?
I thought it was fun. I think, thinking back on it, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in it, I felt, man, this is drawing out and drawing out and drawing out and drawing out. Of course, they're going to solve things. Of course. But I think when I was in it, I was like, this is a long book. I mean, maybe there was a few spots of just a little bit of boredom, like, oh, come on, this is going to solve up in like 10 minutes here. Like, just solve this problem and move on. At the end, I think it's a fun book. Like, thinking back on it, it's a fun book. I was very curious to see how much was going to tie off in the end. I mean, I assumed as a proper time travel book, everything should tie off.
Mm-hmm.
And it does seem like everything did tie off because it went far out before bringing everything back in. Because I think in some ways I do get frustrated with books that are, well, not just books, but movies that are, things are happening, they're just getting more and more out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of incompetence, but things are just getting crazy. And that's, I guess, in some ways stressful, I think. It causes stress for me. And I think that was happening a bit here. But everything did get brought in. All right, let's get into some of the comedy. I mean, The Butler Did It is just
of
great.
course The Butler did it.
The Butler Did It. Everything else, I should have thought that 3 Minute Boat was a real book because everything else I was hearing them talk about, I actually recognized as real things, like all the Dorothy Sayers and all this. I was like, wow, I recognize those authors and stuff. So I should have recognized that this was real. But
And that's the thing is, while it's written as this comedy, it is definitely written in the style of all of these like Victorian stories. I know for a fact this is not your normal style of books that you read. But I personally really enjoy the book. But here's the fun thing. This was actually the second book that I tried to read of Connie Willis.
Because you read the first one first?
I read the first one first. Well, I read part of the first one first. It's one of those books that I did not finish because of the time I was reading it. I could not finish it. It was too depressing. And I don't remember when I started it, but I was not in the right headspace for a book that was basically all serious and all about the Black Death. And the funny thing is, the person who recommended that I read her stuff, Connie Willis, specifically said that I should start with this book. And I ignored them. And I will go on the record and say here, I was wrong. But yes, I enjoy this, but I will fully acknowledge that, yes, while you are in the midst of that, it feels chaotic. It can sometimes feel like it's not moving fast enough. But when you reach the end, you look back fondly on all of it.
Yes.
Which, let me just say, makes a second, third reading of this book so great. Because you know what's coming and you now understand how all the pieces connect.
Yeah, I think that would be... I'd probably now enjoy reading this at like 2x speed. Because I know everything is going to come together. Well, and I got to say too, like, it was a pleasure to listen to it read in somebody with a British accent, right? I mean, just hearing somebody say incongruity every once in a while is just excellent, right? I mean, just emphasize all of that British accent. Come on. Slippage, right? I mean, they're just going through the whole book. We're saying these British words. Just wonderful. Professor James Dunworthy. Like, not Dunworthy? No, Dunworthy. Anyway, I can't do it proper. I am not a good British accent person, but man, it was good stuff.
All that to say, I did love the fact that to fix the issues that were happening, all of the other things had to be put in the right places for the time machine to basically be like, I'm going to fix all of the problems. And the problem started here, but to fix all those things, I have to touch here.
Right.
And I love the fact that they were trying to figure this out, and they were figuring it out by running simulations of Waterloo.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we tried shooting the guy. We tried doing this. We tried doing that. We tried doing that. And then they were like, we tried just taking an object from there. And that was when they were like, oh, that actually matches up. It was just great to see how everything eventually fit together. I am trying to be a little obscure about things so that I don't spoil the entire book for somebody who hasn't read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, as we say at the beginning of these things, which we didn't say this time, if you haven't read this book yet, go and read it.
Yeah, go read this book. I mean, it is fun. I do agree that afterwards you look back on it with fondness. That is not the problem. Okay, now, I don't think... Okay, I'm struggling a little bit, right? Because they're like, oh, all we had to do was leave and everything got fixed. I don't really think that's the case. I'm also trying to figure out, is this one of those time travel books where they're already living in the effects of the causes they've already done, which I think is true, right? They're not affecting history to be different than the effects they're already living in.
At least based on the rules set out here, is one where they can't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, they talk about how the timeline will self-correct. But the problem was, the timeline was trying to self-correct, and they were trying to also correct in the way that they thought it should be corrected. And that's why they needed to get out of the way, is when two things are trying to self-correct in different ways, what happens?
It was running into problems, yeah.
Yeah, the best example I can think is this. Suppose that you have two people who are singing next to each other, and they're both half a step off. If both of them go half a step towards the other person, they'll overcorrect and be past each other again. The correct answer to make it work is generally one person has to move. And that's the thing, is this is the timeline essentially saying, all right, for this to work, you two, we're going to make sure that you aren't going to try to correct while I fix this. Yes, I'm now giving a personality to the timeline.
Well, it seems to have one. I mean, they're talking about it as if it has one.
It is absolutely excellent. I love all of the characters. The original book that this has parodies of, Three Men in a Boat, to say nothing of the dog. Actually, in one scene of this book, they pass a group of guys in a boat who seem to be the titular three men in the boat.
Yeah, I did think that was funny too, yep.
Again, everything about this story I love. I will say that having read multiple things from Connie Willis, I thought this was a good intro to her. But there is another book that I really love from her that I might have you read at another point.
Okay.
But that one is a straight out romance story.
Oh, okay.
And I do not know how you feel about that. Well, it is romance with some sci-fi elements.
Okay. Maybe.
That is a maybe, but that's why I wanted to choose this one, which is, it has romance in it, but it's not the focus. The focus is the sci-fi and the comedy. The other one is called Crosstalk, and the one sentence plot summary I can give to that is, this is why telepathy is a bad idea.
Okay. Generally, I would agree.
Also, can I just say, I am sad for the future that this book talks about.
Because there's no cats anymore?
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to say, is because cats are extinct.
Because cats get extinct. Yep, that is pretty funny. I was actually looking forward to that time.
When cats go extinct?
Well, all you need to do is send back a Klingon cruiser to pick them up. I saw that in another movie.
That's how you get whales, though. But yeah, with this, they truly do save the world. Because they bring cats back.
Although there are a lot of rules when that cat can, come out and do things.
Yeah, but well, I mean, those are still babies. Maybe once they, breed a few pairs and bring cats back, that's the true salvation of the world that they are able to do right there.
Maybe.
All in all, though, I mean, it sounds like you don't have a whole lot more to say about it.
Not too much. I thought the recording was great. I thought thinking back on it, it's good.
And that's the thing, is I can grant you that it can feel a bit stressful. And I do also have to acknowledge that this is not your normal reading style.
Right.
But I am glad that you at least enjoyed it once you reached the end. Because it's funny, it's lighthearted, it does even have that romance story in it. But it is one of those stories that I really do love. It is great, and I think it grows on you so much when you do reach that end. When you're in the thick of it, yes, I can grant you that it does feel like you don't know where things are going, but that's because you are looking at one or maybe even 5 puzzle pieces, and you have no idea what the whole puzzle is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what this book does so well, is when it gets to that end, it shows you the whole puzzle, and it goes, see?
Yep, here's the big picture. I did appreciate that a lot. The whole last hour, I felt, of the book, I don't know how many pages that was, but like there's a significant chunk of tying things together, and that's very appreciated, right? Like it didn't end with, oh, we now know where the bishop's bird stump is. It's here, and we found it. But then there's still a whole lot more to the book. There's, okay, now we know where the bishop's bird stump is. Now we're going to have the ceremony. Now we're going to tie this together. Now we're going to tie this together. Now we're going to tie all this together. And so I appreciated that a lot. It wasn't just building all up to coming to the present or coming back to the future, I guess. And like, we got it. We're done. We know the answer. Done. No, it tied a whole mess of stuff together. I appreciated that a lot.
And the internally consistent nature of all of those things and all of its time travel, especially, because I can tell you, time travel stories can easily tick me off if they do time travel badly.
Yes.
And I felt like there was an internal consistency to this story that I very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
We can't make the title of this episode The Butler Did It, though.
The Butler did it because we won't know what book we're talking about. We'll have no clue because, I mean, that just can sum up 15 million books, Ryan. So, no, we can't do that.
The Butler always did it.
Mm-hmm. I did like that he was a Jeeves copy. That was kind of fun. I do read the Jeeves and Wooster books. Again, I think I can't read them back to back because I think you're right. It's not the style I like of general prose, I think. But when I read them, I enjoy them. So I do read these occasionally, but it's not my favorite. I think I like other kind of books instead.
Yeah, that's because you read Gibbs books back to back.
Well, they are a lot easier to go down.
Sorry, I have to do jabs. So, Nate, what you having me read next time? Because I assume it's a book.
Yes, it is another book. We are continuing along with our series of From the Calculating Stars, the alternate history that started us going to try to figure out what would happen if the world was hit by an asteroid in the 50s and what would that change for our space race and all of that stuff. So we're continuing on with that. This book does take a little bit of a time jump, slightly more into the future. Yes, we've launched a woman into space and they've put people on the moon. What's the next step? This answers that question. This one called The Faded Sky. So we see where they are now. The third book is actually simultaneous, which I like. The third book and the second book happen at the same time. So pay attention to some things in this book because you will see the other perspective in the third book of the events happening in this book. So that is an interesting thing. If you miss it, you miss it. I mean, you will see it later when you read the third book. But yes, the second and third book happen simultaneously. So I like that about this series too.
I'm glad to get a chance to read this because, as you may recall from the last one, I was still a little on the fence, and you said that it's going to pick up in the second one all the more, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, I think you will enjoy.
All right. Well, let's read. We hope you found something nice about this hill that we were willing to die on, and we appreciate all of our listeners coming along on this journey with us. And if you ever thought to yourself, hey, I really like these guys and what they do, and I wish I could support them, well, know that you can. Visit myhilltodieon.com/members for more details. But what does it mean to be a member? Well, for the low price of $2 a month, you can help support this podcast. And by doing so, you'll get access to the members-only podcast, Not My Hill, where we will discuss things that are probably someone else's hill to die on. We have feelings about them, but as the title says, they're definitely not hills we'd be willing to die on. In addition to that, you'll get access to the suggestion form where you can make suggestions for our Listener Hill episodes, where we will watch, read, or climb up a hill that you're willing to die on, and we'll talk all about it. But know that the conversation doesn't have to end here. The discussion can continue with us through Reddit at the subreddit My Hill to Die On, or by contacting us through email, which, to nobody's surprise, is myhilltodieon@gmail.com. Finally, we upload all of our episodes to our YouTube channel, which is also named, say it with me now, folks, My hill to die on. Was I too harsh? Too crazy?
No, I don't think so. Probably not, actually. And you know what? If people are actually offended by that, I would ask, they have soul searching to do. Really? You need to defend AI art? Okay, really?
Yeah, well, sorry, I every once in a while I have to say something, slightly controversial because
it's a podcast, and that's what's fun about them.
I mean, we did approach this podcast with the intention of being, uplifting and positive in most things.
Yes.
The problem is I can't be positive about that.
Well, and I'm not terribly upset about it because you're not insulting any people either at all.
Oh, crap. I just realized that I've just insulted on the record our AI overlords. I'm the first on the chopping block when they take over. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you want to be around anyway.
No. If that actually happens, I have my plan of finding a little, one-room schoolhouse in the middle of nowhere off the grid.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, come on, kids. Let's teach you some math.
How to kill raccoons for food. Alrighty.
Yes, we can make a lovely stew out of this raccoon.
Yep.
I don't know why, when I live in a one-room schoolhouse, I've suddenly become a prospector, but...
Well, you kind of have to be, I think.